Sierra Leone stretches as a pride of lions.
Many Sierra Leoneans don't remember when they last saw a lion. However, that did not stop Pedro de Sintra, a young Portuguese discoverer, from naming this great country Sierra Leone.
From 1462, when Sierra Leone was named by de Sintra, to the years of slavery and the years of freedom, Sierra Leone has come a long way to becoming a diversified and unified country.
Coastal Sierra Leone has always attracted attention from neighbors near and far away. The country's river Roquel, running into the great Atlantic Ocean, has always opened its doors to every human civilization for as long as it has existed.
Known as the Athens of West Africa, Sierra Leone has built a name for itself upon a solid educational foundation, with colonial experimental institutions such as the Grammar School, Annie Walsh Memorial School, and Forabe College, institutions which led the All-Africa way for quality education for people of African origin.
Sierra Leone, a country of several pictures, of courageous battles, of slavery and of colonialism, of independence and of self-rule, of civil war and of activism,
of blood diamonds and of peace diamonds. Sierra Leone has emerged as a country, a concept and a conscience. Sierra Leone, the beautiful diamond of Africa.
Famulem, we don't come back with our program, face to face with the law, and you go remember say for the past weeks and for some time we get for CAMSEF, we dey try for look at areas them, issues them, section them, things them way the present constitutional review committee they look inside small, and it's a good way the committee decides say, okay, now the outreach program. Then go they bring to the public and to people then the committee then ask them they work and the various committee then and everything they're supposed for do. Because I don't know about you. Because myself before now I be the feel to say no more. Where this committee they look inside this constitution, they all they go sit down. So a place like big hall, they begin discuss. Now when I begin for work with this constitutional review committee, I can realize say no, they go for divide to certain committees, then certain sections, and certain departments. Then all man they treat in your issue. All man they go out and look at specific areas, go to the people and talk to them about specific issues. And when they bring all them small they together, then they get down to one place now and look inside and try for write something way. We all go get for engage by salon people then who agree we call them constitution. But today, one of them subcommittee then they did Nayaso. Get members there, not to the entire subcommittee, the studio self not go do, but then get cross section of members in the subcommittee where the committee were responsible for state policy and fundamental human rights. Now the constitutional review committee. So the one for can't tell we waiting at the work, the one for look small and this fundamental human rights. Family, you know it is that test it itself. This business way we call fundamental human rights. Serious in the all man business. Now my business, now your business, now we all business. Because every day people they cry. Oh, they don't take me right. Oh, they don't interfere with me right. Oh, now this they do. But some man they even cry. I go yonder, I go so, nothing not come up behind. Waiting do. It all depends on waiting the constitution is say. And then we go they look inside this present 1991 constitution, then form a committee way. Now for look inside state policies, is look inside the fundamental human rights. And so today, we topic for today under face to face with the law and CRC now state policy and fundamental human rights. And if I'm like always, I get people that way go join me for can do this talk. People that waiting at that subcommittee day and then go introduce themselves. I go begin with the big Alejo waiting at my right hand. We go introduce himself. Yes, sir.
Fabuluna, good evening. I'm Leone from the Law Officers Department.
Thank you very much. I'm Leone from Law Officer. Yes, sir. The turn on the left now.
Family do Mina Jibrila Kamara from Preston Chamber, a practicing lawyer and a member of the subcommittee on state policy and human rights.
This man called Boku. Anyway, in short, his name is Jibrila Kamara. He's a lawyer where he work for himself, private lawyer, but he gets more to do with this constitutional review committee and particularly this subcommittee. But I go start now with Mr. Ali Vandi Koroma. But before that, Fabula, I want to make you know, say, you self can join me. You can send your text now 088 204973. 088 204973. You can send text, you can ask question, you can make contribution. You say if you can learn the voice safe, we go talk, we go read that, we go explain that. If not for answer, the panelists then go try for look inside. And so one for begin, one for go on. As I go ask Mr. Ali Vandi Koroma, make he tell me wetin na in your work na this constitutional review committee. Wetin na your work, sir?
Pamela Sabi say me come from the law officers department. The law officers department, of course, na the government law firm where they represent government interest in so many things them. So because this na all man business, government feels say a need for put some people in from the law officers department will go oversee some of the things them with the subcommittees then they do. And me happen for being at the subcommittee on state policy and human rights. So basically I provide technical support to the committee members because as we know, not so everybody then at the committee we na lawyer. So it is just but good that they get lawyer the way they say, some of them thinks them now just like guide the process. Not to really like for dictate anything. The thing about the work of the committee, now purely the committee members, now then they really like dictate what happens. Me just they guide the process as to the things them way the law provide for under the current dispensation. So now that's basically me they do. Bring the attention, draw the attention to certain critical areas they will feel see because we they use them on a daily basis. We know some of the challenges them and say, look, let we see how we can enjoy.
But Mr. Vandi, let's say I want to ask somebody go the watch we go see. Well, what's in Mr. Ali Vandi Koroma explain so? If you like say get something for do with the big judicial subcommittee within inside CRC, not so?
Not necessarily. Of course, we got the judicial subcommittee. The judicial subcommittee purely look at the judiciary per se. You know, get the judiciary. The law officers, of course, they're under the Attorney General, and the Attorney General line we direct boss. So this is not human rights business. Of course, you will say they are linked because some of the things that happen at the judiciary, now human rights issues them. People always go complain about, say for example, we don't go to court delayed, people and they get bail, people and then they are jail and then they can't court fast. So they are intertwined basically. But as I say, when the judiciary people come, they get specific things that they look at as to what in the judiciary they do, where you will talk about judges, magistrates, and judicial staff. Here, we talk generally what affects the people insofar as human rights business concerned. Because when we say human rights, it affects.
No, we will come that side. We just want for no more. If this committee, this state policy and fundamental human rights committee, if you get any business for the judicial subcommittee inside constitutional review committee, and you don't able for Apple this month. But I will turn to Mr. Jibrila Kamara Naya, and I hopefully tell family everything that you work inside this subcommittee, and by extension, the Judicial and Legal Service Committee.
Well, basically, me role plan the entire process now that I'm been a committee member of the Constitutional Review Committee, and by that I mean say the president been charged with 80 members. Say follow we review the committee and the report where Peter Tucker been submit. So we are charged with two responsibilities principally. That is to say, for law we look at the 1991 Constitution and see how we will make them, will bring them to modern day constitutionalism. And for look at that, they will get for look at what thing be done happen. That is to say, the work way that we don't do this committee way them in charge Peter Tucker. That work we been do, that document will be present. And also we get for review. So me basically I represent the committee, the CRC committee. But the CRC committee, as you rightly say, we are divided into subcommittees. We get the committee on state policy and fundamental human rights, to which I belong. And that committee, they principally then charge me for law. We look at chapter 2 of the Constitution and chapter 3. We get for do with state policies and fundamental human rights. So, as you rightly say again, then two things there, and in are the most important thing with the church and concern every Sierra Leonean. We very very important. So basically, now that work they will do.
Okay, family, this is face to face with the law. They look help the Constitutional Review Committee, like as a lot of people learn for make family know how that committee they work, and waiting and some of the subcommittees that were inside that big Constitutional Review Committee. So people for understand, oh, they talk. Now we only the corner there, within our school, within our college, within our business place, within our office, within our market, wherever we gather. So until you with this self that get to, and you know, man and get for the buying, then chant and talk. So when man and they talk, they need for understand what they talk about. And what will they try for saying? This now the committee where now the State Policy and Fundamental Human Rights Committee, where they can look inside chapter 3 of the Dr. Peter Tucker own report where he been full commander do, and also send the hearts inside chapter 3 also of the Salon Constitution when in 1991 it been come out to how they use rights now, no expire to how they use. So chapter 3 of that one day, and also it is in line with chapter 3 of Dr. Peter Tucker so go try for look inside a small bit and see. And I was move quickly. You can save and you can join me in send text na 088 204973 088 204973. Human rights business. Na all man business, so na your business. So sit down and listen well and make sure say you contribute who's possible and who's necessary. Now we come to you, Mr. Aliu Vandi Kuruma. Now you can help for begin for look inside this chapter 3, particularly between Dr. Peter Tucker been put together concerning this fundamental human rights, because chapter 3 entitled now the recognition and protection of fundamental human rights and the freedom of the people. Right? For those who know say all man forget human rights, people forget freedom, but not for broke the law. So one for look inside. Yes, sir.
Well, basically, we, as you rightly mentioned, we get the Constitution of Sierra Leone, Act number 6 of 1991, we now currently with the use. So the government, we don't think and fit say, look, there are emerging issues all over the world. Things are changing, and therefore, if then they change, we need to also change with time so that then provisions they will become relevant to modern day realities. So that made them initiate the process for that we get a constitutional review. So they may empower Dr. Peter Tucker for get a committee where they may empower say look into the 1991 Constitution and see what are the issues them way like as time non pass,
particularly to this fundamental human rights.
Yes, now they will day.
Yes.
So
you look inside.
Of course, I mean look at the whole Constitution, but the business we have for, as you rightly don't say, na chapter 3 specifically.
And now there one we go.
One we understand say when they say human rights first, as you rightly mentioned, now everybody business. You know those now claims that everybody entitled to. That is why it is fundamental. It's so fundamental that without them, we really know we live in dignity. So many things and the way will go bad. So that then take the time, then watch the chapter 3 of the Constitution and make recommendations. Then start with one very first thing when they start with. I will just make mention of fundamental. Look, the Peter Tucker Commission say, you know, we not even need for say it's fundamental. Even the heading of the chapter, they say no. We not even need for say it's fundamental. Because I mean, it's like they say it's superfluous. You don't overstate them. It already day. As they say human rights. When they say human rights, it's like everybody. This is a claim with everybody entitled to, irrespective of you sex, you political, whatever, and everything.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Vandi Koma. I will turn to you now, Jibrila. Now, inside the Dr. Peter Tucker report, I see the first point they say, he said, Pastor. So somebody agree. He said, but they not for stop anybody for let enjoy in freedom of assembly. That's forget that one place, right? And freedom of association for meet with people. Then, so if the person say no, me I not mix pan public, me not mix pan group business, I not mix pan get and other things. And say nothing inside this law, not for cause of them can say I want to look big family and look inside them. So one look some of them things there.
Yes, before I get to that point, I want just tell people and say, wait and see human rights. It basically means say That's thing the way natural, irrespective of whether you poor or you rich or you not handicapped or you not physically strong person, irrespective of your status in society, you get them. Now you write them, you get them just like how the money man get them, just like the people in authority get them. Everybody is entitled to those rights. Now we could then call it human rights, meaning they are God given, and God now giving them. Nobody know for take and for we. So Peter Tucker did an appreciable job for starting recommendations with regards them rights then day. And you actually don't mention the right to association. It's simply the talk say nobody, you know, go deprive anybody for belong, for associate with any political group or any association so far. Once that association, then are the person able to express in opinion, are they able to express in thought, are they able to feel free for talk. Once what you do, you know, affects the other person. So the rights where you get means say you for equally protect the other person in right. For example, you know, for belong to a political grouping, where then give freedom for belong for do anything they, but you belonging they affect other people and political belonging. You understand? So these rights are fundamental. So everybody will enjoy them, therefore equally ensure say the other next person enjoy them. So and if you look at chapter 3, it starts from section 15 onto I think section 28. It outline all the rights then they. And when you look at the right then they, some of the things that you feel like the one way them draft the constitution, then give the rights them, then give government so much discretion that the right and if you want to give them people and not to all the time, only for all. So then get clauses the way they say as and when necessary, as and when applicable, and kind of thing then they. So what did Peter Tucker do from chapter 3?
You mean Dr. Peter Tucker?
Dr. Peter Tucker, what he do for let him look at then clauses then they then clawback clauses and the way they give and take. He say, you know what, we have to delete them. We have to delete them. If you go to section 15, for example, for section 17, it says Lord deletes the words at his own expense. For example, if somebody then bring you in a court or he then charge you of an offense or then allege say you commit certain offense and say for consult your lawyer at your own expense. You understand? Peter Tucker see and say we need for pull land because plenty of the people are not get finances for pay lawyer, for consult lawyer, for pay lawyers. So they put the burden on the state for like able to help the people and we poor so that they will get access to justice. And basically this is what this constitution is going to do. For
okay.
Sure
all right,
yeah.
Jibila, thank you very much. I see you they try for explaining about opting. I will come back to you, Aliu. Take you to the next 2-3 things then. In summary, way Dr. Peter Tucker try for point out in terms of trying to review the present constitution on that chapter 3.
One such thing like the death penalty. You know, we get the death penalty still in we statute books them and the constitution of child books.
For kill mortal man,
certain offences
so
they will do
still.
It's still then now
okay.
So Peter Tucker, he tried for remove them, but he put a caveat there. So it's like a not remove them in its entirety. What they say? So many times, you know, we don't read small history. Some matters they know be done they go to court, especially when it gets some kind political taste around them. When them people and they be convict them at the end of the day, then be execute them. They can't watch say some other people and they way go not commit offenses them back. Where equally so the law they provide some men and kill them. They know they kill them. Most times they can just confine them to life imprisonment. So they say no. For avoid some of the things that they happen, look, anytime when such happen, they say we not go kill the person. We go reduce them to life imprisonment. Then put on there, they say if no loss of life, then we put that caveat. So in other words, if in the process you not kill somebody, they say they're not for kill you. But then give Parliament the authority for say them for look into them every 2 years.
But waiting Dr. Peter Tucker talk in terms of discrimination.
That's again very, very important. When we go to section 27 of the Constitution, this now one thing where, you know, it really, really well, most times we can refrain from saying it contradicts like the Constitution in certain areas. Because if you go to subsection 4 specific, and they tell you say, the general spirit of the Constitution say, no law for be discriminatory. In other words, as we say, when it's human rights business, everybody for enjoy, everybody's entitled, irrespective of you sex. In other words, be you man or woman. When you go to that particular provision here, and they tell you say no, there are certain areas where it provide for that discrimination, where it already don't say everybody should be treated equally. So in other words, that particular provision they undermine the spirit and letter of non-discrimination, because they say in certain customary practices it discriminates against a particular sex, particularly the woman. So Dr. Pitatoka say no, this is not proper, because when you talk about human rights business, it affects everybody, irrespective of, as we don't say, your race, your religion, your political preferences, or your sex, or whatever. So you know go say no, and not discriminatory. Not we then make any law to the effect that it is discriminatory. Then in the same constitution again, you get a particular provision which say, but however, this particular area it provides for that discrimination. So Peter Tucker say no, we don't need to forget any. In the proposed recommendations, he said no, we don't need to forget and we need for the list.
Okay, Jibrila, you can able for tell family another fundamental issue where Dr. Peter Tucker be raised.
Well, another very fundamental issue where Dr. Peter Tucker been raised now the issue of citizenship.
Citizenship, you mean?
Yes, citizenship.
Okay.
Now,
but waiting this citizenship, because one for ask me, I see and they watch. You say, citizenship, what do you mean?
Well, citizenship simply mean say you right what you get because you born, you then at this country, or you associate yourself with this country. Now you they part of this country. You belong to one part of the country.
And see what you want for make family understand. Now you were supposed for me then call you Salon Person. So now you're a citizen.
You're a citizen, exactly.
Okay, and,
yes. And you
own business and then call citizenship.
Exactly.
Okay,
yes.
Okay, I should then understand.
Yes. So one of now it bring and up because now one thing we will not be ever get now with constitution. And if you look at the modern constitution all over the world, you find out say the issue of citizenship is very paramount in those constitutions. So Dr. Peter Tucker say unnecessary say we need for bring them. Okay. In the revised constitution. Okay. So he recommends we need to get a very separate chapter with regards to that one. How chapter they get for deal with how who a citizen of Salon and how you go able to acquire, because some people and they not Australians, but by association, by marriage, by some other thing, by naturalization you can become a citizen of Sierra Leone. So he said that chapter they for deal it forget a very clear explanation of who that for be citizen of Sierra Leone and how person for able to acquire that kind of citizenship. And
but you know say this citizenship business na Salon na serious business.
Very, very serious issue. And
serious issue.
And if you look at chapter 3, they talk about you see the equal protection clause,
yes.
Section 27, where you see nobody no for discriminate anybody against based on sex, yes. Place of origin, or all that kind of thing. So wasn't Peter talk? He said this new chapter we will get for include when our citizenship chapter. He said we need for couch that chapter to the point that you not go discriminate anybody for get citizenship based on in color. All right, because for example, plenty Lebanese them born in this country, not so. Them born them, but because of yes,
so na future
so them Moyamba them born them, but because of the laws the way currently they discriminate against them. So he look at all now and day because all modern constitutionalism in the see and say everybody will want to be citizen once. He go through the due process if he becomes citizen. The law not for discriminator again. So now one key important issue that we bring up. It also count the passport issue. We're very, very important. Say every citizen should be entitled because now that's not they call you citizen. Now they identify you
as Salon person.
Yes.
You suppose
forget something where they exactly where they identify you.
So when you go out of this country,
they're gonna say
exactly.
You understand? So now that new thing there. We need for count, and if you look at all over the world, these are the new trends. If we not make them now with constitution, it means we will not follow the trend.
Okay, thank you very much, Jamila. Thank you very much. I will come back to you, Ali Vani. I should say, Dr. Peter talk in chapter 3 about right to life. He touched that side. You go and explain to family.
Yeah, basically the right to life 9 have been discussed in section 16 of the constitution, where they say like everybody get right to life. As it is currently in the constitution, however, that life day they can take them from you in certain cases,
if they condemn you,
they condemn you. Like you go to
Yes,
court,
but
you
when
get
you
particular
are
offenses
you-
then where you commit.
because we
and
not
they
get
say-
still.
Exactly. It's when you
Say
commit
that you right
capital
to, but
offenses.
because you don't do this, so the law say for taking that right to the
Yes.
first that you are.
So Peter Tucker say no. The right to life is very, very serious. In fact, it is the most serious of all the rights. Because we only talk about rights because you are alive.
Yeah.
When you die, nobody know. I mean, people hardly talk about when are the rights of the dead person. So when you are alive, now they talk about the rights. And because the mortal man life is sacred. So for make people go just don't know and say, well, you don't do this, so we'll kill you. Assuming say we are humans. You can make some mistakes.
Yes.
If you make mistake, say for example, in even the execution of his sentence, then you say, Lord, kill this person. Then they kill that person. Then years down the line, they can't find out, say, perhaps yes.
Not so the person will do the thing.
Exactly, not so the person will do this thing. So how for do? So now that make it say no. I say one, make a not deal. Though it puts a caveat, as I'm trying to explain, though it puts a caveat say, well, if the person where loss of life no occur. But however, I tell Parliament say every 2 years, let Parliament look into them with a view for
and you somebody go see like where is this in on council, them brother when they can net for can't flexion that then give for keep. And they can for kill as well. I mean, so now and if they catch them after they don't damage and don't kill person for left there and for just jail there. Anyway, no so that do so death penalty we can't talk about. I want also to talk to family. I don't know if whether when Dr. Peter Tucker they review this 1991 constitution under this fundamental human rights, if they talk about arrest and detention, arbitrary arrest and detention. Because Iboku now.
Very well. And
talk about that small bit, man.
And they're really strong with them. Because now, as it is in the constitution, section 17 they speak to them. Except for very serious offenses, like when you talk to people and go come on and it's a whole gun, then go broke host for people. And
I mean, like they say, then give for keep.
Exactly.
When they come for taken out with power.
As the constitution they provide for now, they say they get rights for holding for up to 10 days. They police them. Then they look into the matter. They say, we they investigate. For minor offenses, like you said, they get rights for only up to 3 days. But what happen over the years? We see as usual. When you give some people and say, when you give us an inch, and they take foot. People are not they abuse the process because they don't even say you need for keeper 10 days. If the investigation so require, it can take up to 10 days. So Peter Tucker say no. That 10 days is too much. Remember, this will they deal with the dignity of the person, the human rights of the person. So they say no. We cut them from 10 to 7 for very serious offenses. For minor offenses, now 3 a day. They say no. We cut them to 48 hours. We get this tradition. People will go tell you say, look, I will lock you up, nothing not come up here. I will lock you up, nothing not come up here. They even make provisions say, if they can't find out, so you just lock this person like when you say, I go live and I'll make case for
and they give them problem.
I give them problem.
And they give them fire.
Very well.
Yes.
Then later they can't find out, say, now live by this person. As we go with constitution now, I mean, people really need to see, say, we need for redress, like say, I will go say, well, they don't say, now lie, really, they like, I mean, they just keep me normal, like say, for example, and CID for
so
this.
So Dr. Peter Tucker address
that issue.
How we address that?
One, is say, the authority, say for example, now the police unlawfully detain you, they say they for compensate you. They not only compensate you, they say they need for do public apology.
You know what somebody say if government begin compensate for their arbitrary arrest, then they will not supposed to do. Say government go broke, so because they do it every day, then go pay compensation. Say go come for pay salary, say if you go be.
Well, that's that we they talk about the proposals where Peter Tucker make,
yes.
And that's it is say because again yes you go say governments go broke or whatever, but the point is because again then checks are not there. The person say but afterwards I go just tell and say okay come on, you know you don't put the man in prison for say 10-15 days and afterwards you just tell them okay. In fact most times when they release the people and because we go to those places people they end up for like thank them as if they don't do them favor, say thank you sir, thank you sir, thank you sir, you understand? So the person just they say no, I can do them and get away with them. But if you don't say no, if I do them, then provisions they are we are in, we will come for compensation or we give him the public apology. I mean, it gives the person that satisfaction. Say like the person don't go on radio and say, sorry, what I do to this person. That in itself has some form of
I see the passion with which you explain this particular thing. Fabulous, one for take a short break, we'll go get for comeback. But what Mr. Vanny try for explaining that thing where somebody go look him because he feels a better pass you or a big pass you, get money pass you, until you find pass you say, right? It give you a holla. Because you know say you earn each day. Pap, police don't lock you up until again connection. Connection don't phone, they're not right, they're not saying complimentary. You did it, they rub bandages and then say, oh, quickly don't tell you say economic crime. and lock you up, bam, 10 days. And even past 14, 15, even if lawyer then go for alibi, it's say, well, lawyer they go try for prepare paper for go high court, then by they don't grant and bail for just defeat the ends, right? But that habit where government get, and they arrest you, then disgrace you openly. When they go investigate and find out not to so be, then they left you serve. The very public when they disgrace you before, then they tell the public say that person there not to so be, and left you serve. And you know you afraid for talk because government get tank. Not to 2 normal get to get aid, get food, get all thing. You see, I think we get for stop that. So you therefore look inside this fundamental, like this arbitrary detention. Even you, Papa government when they watch me say you get problem this small bit. Catch people in some kind of way. You know, they investigate fine, lock them, disgrace them, molest their family. At the end of the day, when I just write say, we not see anything wrong, they left them sorrowful. Then the person don't lose in work, you don't lose in respect. Then the public now way you for make you restore in respect, you don't make public know. If that person they grab go talk say, hey that case I don't free you, when I go catch them back. I don't think say right, I don't think say fair. Papa government, no, I don't think. In fact, you police where they watch me, so you know so they talking correct. I want to lock people and so. Right? Arbitrary, you're not correct. We get for stop that, we get for change that. And when compensation begin go, from Uda go report to, from you and lock up, I think say things go change now. This country. Your family will take a short break when they come back.
International news, SLBC, 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 pride of the nation. Education, we did it. Information, we did it. Entertainment, we did it. If not sponsor, we did it. SLBC, 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 pride of the nation. SLBC, SLBC, SLBC.
My family will not come back after the short break. This is a face-to-face with the law. Like we talk just now, we look at state policies and fundamental human rights, and even the recognition under the Constitutional Review Committee. And we therefore look at Dr. Peter Tucker, the review what they do, what they want review the constitution today, but it not incomplete, and things don't change more. We'll also look at in line with the present constitution. When Act number 6 of 1991, when that's a long constitution, what would they use? Like I said, just not, you know, expire it, so you know, expire it. Now me, now we can make it expire also. Expire. We will change them, but for now, I'll bring you one. Now we will use still. So they look at presently. We look what Dr. Peter Tucker they say. Now we look what we are there now. What they be around the country, pass some of them things and I mean, where we not talk. For example, like I be saying, I can send text now 08820 4973 088 204973. I just noticed the first set of text messages don't come. People are not send, and they talk. The first person say they are only the panelists the way they and I say, thank you. Where you don't reach time for talk about the Citizenship Act. Well, and Nasa Ayub, he said that a need for be amended. Well, Nasa sometimes which they talk, sometimes to go inside. But right now, not on Citizenship Act we talk about. We talk about the Constitution, fundamental human rights. Like that citizenship where my brother talk about, we try to explain a point. But I will raise the necessary point. I should say face to face go reach day one day. And what which day? You go enjoy them. And government will see the reason for change some of them things in day. Somebody else say, he say, them fundamental rights I want that they talk about now this country. He say it's too difficult for the people to enjoy them. And you say difficult. That's what it be. He say the rights they do, but they don't give people a chance to enjoy their rights.
Well, the person say very difficult. I agree with them partly because of the way some of the rights there, as my brother they say, some of the rights there, then they give, then they take, then they get the restrictions then they. But however, you can still enjoy your rights and they. The provision, the law is supreme. Now that's always what they say. I can understand the challenges and when people like always get for acts for make use of the laws then they. Like say for example, if they say arbitrary arrest and detention, they ask me, but you know the person go, they don't arrest them. You know the law they say they need for inform them why they arrest them within 24 hours. If for no then things then they make it. Then things then they, you get plenty of people like okay arrest. Then they take note of them things then they. So it's a challenge.
Okay. You see, waiting, Mr. Komade for explaining that. Yes, that's true. The rights, then they have a right. Now you right for enjoy them. You see, but sometimes they will weaken over enjoy their rights and they say we do things that we're not correct. In fact, some man don't even know say he gets some of their rights then they say he can left in right say the right a poor so pass them go to go in the morning. And I think so you correct time for know you right and work out with you right. But you say Salomon like in right and not like in duties. Every right he gets a corresponding duty. We will go for look inside. Which is that your duty as salon person. You want citizenship business. Which is that your duty as a citizen. You want right. You want enjoy. Oh yes, you're right. But when you turn to your duties, then I should say you go look yourself. Say you know me the treat salon fine. When other person say, he say that I do good job. Oh, he said I enjoy the program. He said but when I need forget woman lawyer then the panel. I should say me producer the watching the listening and also the stakeholders the way. They under this program also they listen we say and the need for them at this panel man myself for at once on a man at once on a man it can't be to me smart be to agree with you we go look inside here now how for continue they can't tell you back Jibgila I should say Dr. Peter talk something by review about freedom of movement. Saloma like for move explain that before we small.
Yes, the whole constitution give the right to every Australian and every citizen for move from one place to any other place in this country. For example, you can move from the north, you go to the south, you go settle there. Move from the south, you go to the north for go settle there. Provided your movements know they affect other people in freedom of movement. But what in Peter, what in the same constitution talk about the restriction of those movements under certain circumstances. For example, in public emergency. For example, if they suspect you say one commits a crime or you are about to commit a crime. So it outline all length in the day. You understand? It also give we in case you freedom of movement, they don't restrict and they don't hold them. They don't agree for let you move. The constitution tell we say within 30 days before make complaint. And this complaint where they make through the Chief Justice and the Annular where they set up an
but this freedom of movement the constitution talk about and Dr. Peter talk said for
yes. I just want to show you what in the constitution talk, the 1991 constitution and what Peter Tucker say, how you extend them. So it give the part of the Chief Justice for set an independent commission for look at why they restrict your movement for 30 days, why they not levy for move for 30 days, you understand? So what's in the Peter Tucker talk, he said that power they will need for mover from the judiciary. We need for send them to the Human Rights Commission.
Okay, for put them from the judiciary
to the Human Rights
Commission. When I then for look at that
exactly.
That
you understand?
Okay.
Because if you look at the judiciary, the final say now one of the three arms of government, and no matter how you look at them, you must get influences, checks and balances, influence the executive, they influence the judiciary.
Well, me I not sabi that I not sabi that.
Well, let me come.
So, but me I don't know more say. Interaction between
of
the
course,
arms of government.
Yes.
But
Checks and balances.
I don't know about influence.
Well, what I say influence, for example, the president get the power of appointment for appoint the Chief Justice, not so. And if you get the power for appoint the Chief Justice get the power for appoint chairman of this commission, of this independent inquiry, for look at the person where they don't restrict the movement. You understand? So automatically they say there is a connection. If now political something, for example,
no, when you say influence now, my uncle when they watch so one for know what you mean by influence.
Influence simply mean then they able to turn how they want time. Not to how it will be the right thing for be done. You understand? So then see and say the Human Rights Commission in terms of protection of human rights, we don't forget an independent body, we're not the Human Rights Commission, not so. And that commission is established by an act of parliament.
Okay, thank you.
So that commission now get the power now for set up an independent inquiry. And when they set up that independent inquiry, the chairman of that inquiry and the commission for Picam, not to any longer the Chief Justice. So it give people
so like Dr. Peter Tucker, they try for recommend see. The Chief Justice look at some work the way AB98.
Yes,
so
when
when
them
them
shift
okay,
out.
this one made them pull and come out.
Exactly.
When them transfer to
And
human
mind
rights
this one they
commission.
deal with human rights human rights issue.
Okay.
So if they deal with the human rights issue,
So
the
the
best
human rights
institution-
commission deal with human rights
exactly.
business. Okay.
Let human rights commission look
deal
at
with
human rights issue.
human rights business.
So that na Peter Tucker do.
Okay.
He also talk say he say that human rights the bar association. You don't see the bar association are independent body. So the
Na
members,
company.
yes, na company. The members for form part of that that inquiry, they 2 members get for come out from the bar
That
association.
the inquiry way.
Where in case they restrict your movement for 30 days.
Yes, that
Because
small.
You remember
body
when
wey
Mr.
get
Valley
for-
be the talk. He
Yes.
say they don't for restrict your movement for more than 10 days
Yes.
under
Understand that
capital
they
offenses.
always.
They don't for make under 3 days for other
No, when they
offenses.
talk about that committee, they say among the people that work for this that committee for look inside this over detention business, right? And say bar association forget 2.
Yes,
representatives
bar
in
association
it.
forget-
Any other person for the day?
Yeah, other person for the chairman, na human rights commission, and 2 members. And then 2 members in the bar association they appoint them.
Okay.
You understand? So when that committee is constituted, now they get the power now.
See, so bar association, so business.
Yeah, that's sober something because they're independent body as well.
Yeah.
Yes, you know,
Yeah.
you know, in a pressure group.
I know.
So then go able to look at violation of
But
this human rights.
that's a good recommendation. This is good.
Now,
If some people can look inside and agree, it go better. Because sometimes you only can keep some people in a cell. So then apparently about them they go keep themselves then say for waiting in their own interest. back.
Then
And
give
they
them
tell them forget
for
body.
for
say
3
that.
months. They no charge them to court.
Nothing
We
say
get
that.
an incident in the
Yes.
court. We
Now, Mr. Koma, Mr. Ali Vandi Koma, I think Dr. Peter Tucker talk about protection from slavery and forced labor. He talk about that. He look inside.
Yes.
Yes, you want to about this small for we.
Yeah.
As we the round up, tell me the case small.
Yeah. Basically, it just agree with the provisions that we did in the constitution.
Oh, like I see the inside 1991 constitution. So I say that they do so bet.
Yes.
Mm.
However,
What's inhuman treatment? Where we will treat yourself like say you know so mortal man.
that's in fact that na the run and through right throughout the recommendations that we made. Of course, as I say, human rights na it's so important that everybody entitled to one.
Okay.
So it say now standards and the way they don't set in society with everybody without them and not will live in dignity. So that make a say. So things like freedom from torture, you know, forced labor and everything. I agree. Remember,
We also talk about protection for privacy of the home and other property.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
He also mentioned things in there and say, as it is now, you know, the police then inside you expect they can violate some of the things in there. But he put them very clearly say, we get rights to privacy.
But you see, like when you talk about police, so somebody they say police then get one new language, others from above. You don't hear that they one day, others from above.
Anyway, it's not provided for by law. Well, I mean, something we
And
see.
some people when they argue so now anyone they say, police and new language and others from above. Not true?
No, I don't think so. It's not provided for by law.
Okay.
You know, so if person they use them, perhaps they use them outside the limits of the law. So you know advantage. But when they say waiting the law provide for, nothing other than the law they say others from above. You go according to the dictates
They
of
say
the law.
they action all others from above.
Well, it's not proper.
Superfluous.
It's not proper if it's been done.
Okay. Now, Jimila, what do you think are some of the challenges of the Peter Tucker, Dr. Peter Tucker review report?
Well, one of the key challenges they will find out we are joining the CRC of Peter Tucker in report now that we then supply we in document. I find out say it makes some very good recommendations and it makes some good work. You do some good work. But I find out say in most of the recommendations that we make, I not see justifications for those recommendations. And if we don't able give it justification, if we don't help a lost the Constitutional Review Committee as a reference point.
But now pointer, even if justification not backed, because you know put all the justification name as the point, then they go, the documents go be bulky, go too big. But if you don't mention that, now pointer for make this Constitutional Review Committee now then go inside that issue they properly now and see if it make any sense.
Well, it agree more work because if we been get that reference there, plenty of this the work they do now not for do again. You understand? Now because it just make the recommendation, them you not give the justification. You know, it means to say
the strain
yes,
to understand
exactly. How you arrive at that their recommendation.
So that one challenge anyway.
Exactly. So that challenge, in fact, I give the reason why they set up this committee again, so that one we will able to review the constitution, find one again for them able to match with them more than this, and also for them look at the recommendations of Peter Tucker, because those recommendations, even though they are very, very, very fine and in place, you know, be able to give justification. That justification, therefore, able to give reference. Say, you know what, when Peter Tucker been do this work, he recommend this thing.
Understand.
And this recommendation, as a result of this, make it Tucker, because the entire nation or majority of the people of the nation then recommend and say then things are not going to go right. So we need for do. So you know, now one of the challenges and then the way we face.
Mr. Van der, I want follow you look inside quick. I don't know if Dr. Peter Tucker review committee report, you make mention of anything of freedom of expression, freedom of the press, and when you look at now with this present constitution.
Very well. The Peter Tucker recommendations treats the freedom of the expression and the freedom of the press very, very seriously. In fact, when you go to the provision, SLA will delete, if you read the provision, when at section 25, SLA will delete one particular thing where they say authority given by the president. They say no, it has to be by the IMC. You know, the Independent Media Commission.
Media Commission.
Yes, because just like we Jibril Abidi say, most of I mean, you get a good number of the provisions then when they say the president. So now one such thing is we say no checkmates on many things, and now we have a body within the Independent Media Commission, where of course one of a main mandate for regulates the press. Then also this type of freedom of information, you know, a very, very critical. It only emerge and right to access information.
But we don't come up at that critical stage. Now we don't get law. When are the right to access
this
information act?
This is it. I just say the recommendation they come before. So I just say in fact one thing this way we all agree.
Yeah, because
do
the recommendation before
the act. So I
act.
think government look into it and say no. I think we need to forget them. Because you know so many times secrecy and other things and the information.
So that means you need for spell and answer this question now better.
Spell them out in the recommendation. Say in fact add 2 new sections. You know, where people like you say information where the states get sensitive with this and that. No, person get right for access. Equally so, information will require for the protection of the rights of the person.
But information will concern state secrets.
Of course, limitations then limitations there. I mean, the act is very clear.
Because somebody they watch
the act very, very clear with that. You understand? Of course, we all know say
but you
can't access everything.
No,
you can't access everything. You
can't
access everything.
Yes, and a very key and a very critical point we discuss with this access to information. But I want to tell people and listeners and say the access to information is subject to several limitations. Because you know why? All over the world, in terms of state governance, security governance, you always forget information the way you go divulge to the public. Some of those information, if you divulge into the public, if you not take them, you need to work. Exactly. So I agree with the media practitioners the way they glamour for this freedom of information is fine because it they make the government very accountable to the people. It make themselves get information with them. But they have to be mindful. Exactly. But they need for no change. Not to absolute right. Is subject to limitations.
To control.
And those limitations are for the interest of the public.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Famulem, this is face to face with the law. We look at state policy and freedom of fundamental human rights and recognition of their rights indeed. And one for round up now, I will go to you, Mr. Koma, make you summarize for me, and Louis round up 10 don't get you.
Of course, we don't discuss some of the provisions because we are limited by time, so we'll not be discuss all the provisions then. And when we say human rights business, as I always don't say, this basically not like your birthrights. Right where you're entitled to. Simply because you're a woman, not to because you're not human, not to because you're a Muslim, Christian.
Human shouldn't call mortal man.
Mortal man.
It's not exactly. Simply because you're a mortal man. Simply because you're a mortal man. And it affects everybody, whether you reach your poor, black, white, tall or short, be you I mean, it's universal.
You mix it.
Everything. So now that
Okay.
make when it comes up, we therefore treat them very, very seriously
Okay.
and say, no, me and this so no, and not gonna affect me. Me, I don't mix everything. You never know what will happen tomorrow.
I agree with
So
you.
that make let all come together and ensure say we get provisions that we go protect everybody in rights of this country, because you never know who's you go there tomorrow.
Okay, Jibila.
Yes, ultimately tell people, and as member of the Constitutional Review Committee, at least we don't try small follow educate them. But let them know say the committee get for go meet them. And we know say some of them we know to lawyer like we, then we get for give a brilliant contributions. We go add to what we don't discuss, so we will bring fresh issues them, very important issues them. So I tell the people and say that and they listen to this program and let them prepare for the CRC when they come for the consultation, so that then we will give very, very, very brilliant contribution. We will help to get a constitution. We will stand the test of time. We will benefit the picking that we will not burn it and the one that we don't burn.
I thank you very much, Mr. Ali Van Dikoma and Mr. Jibrila Kamara. Family in terms of non-catch with the roundup. What they try for say basically, particularly Mr. Jibrila Kamara talk just now. He say some people away the Constitutional Review Committee. Therefore, send people from that committee. They go meet you now, go now on a village then, on a tongue then, on a meeting them. If you call and say na Fitoya, talk to una, don't say give una idea. No look and say, this is a lawyer business. One part the way been telling me say, he say na sense man they write book, but we the lawyer we na book money, so you get the sense man and then they. So the sense man and the book money where they all engage, things go fine. Well, on behalf of me, producer Mr. Michael Kagbo, and the studio crew, the people that were behind the machine, particularly me and others. Well, we want to say goodbye. We'll come back next week. We'll continue with the Constitutional Review Committee in business. Thank you and bye bye.
You cannot avoid its magical sound or the golden picture of its silver screen. SLBC, for the taste you thirst.
Have you been wondering or thinking where to get quality cleaning and pest control services with state-of-the-art equipment and chemicals? Well, the solution and the professionals are right here. Mr. Clean Pest Control and General Cleaning Services at number 4 Dundas Street is the right place to go. Mr. Clean offers general cleaning, pest control and garbage collection for homes, offices and industrial premises. Mr. Clean uses cutting-edge technology with the latest cleaning equipment and chemicals. Mr. Clean also provides special treatment for cockroaches, bedbugs, ants, termites, and rats. Mr. Clean also repels snakes. Mr. Clean is the proud cleaner for the SLBC, Total, the British Council, Sierra Leone Bottling Company, and the National Electoral Commission, and the host of other parastatals and private homes, offices, and factories all over the country. To give your homes, offices, factories, and gardens that sparkling, glowing look, contact the number 1 professionals, Mr. Clean Pest Control and General Cleaning Services at number 4 Dundas Street in Freetown, or call on 033 669 704 or 078-832-283.
Mr. Clean, cleaning sweet mama salute.
Lonat from malaria. Thank God I don't finally find the right malaria medicine for them picking. When you picking sick malaria, run go to any pharmacy and ask for Lonat syrup. When you get Lonat syrup, before Jacko cut your eye, you go see the picking don't begin play again. Lonat for malaria. That's not done. Then get Lonat DS for big pushing. When you sick malaria, you drink Lonat DS. Before Jacko cut your eye, you don't begin sweat. Lonat for malaria. Lonat get antimetal and lumefantrine. If you take Lonat after 3 days, you not feel better. Now for run go see you doctor one time. Lonat for malaria. Lonat in all the pharmacy for sale. If you want plenty, now for gonna Hamdalai Pharmacy, number 1 Sania Bacha Street, or you call on a telephone number 078 513 425 033 528 203. Lonat for malaria.
Do you or a friend fancy yourselves on the football pitch? Well, here's how you could end up playing for Manchester United. Join Airtel Rising Stars. Play like you've never played before. And if you're good enough, you'll be selected for the Manchester United coaching clinics. Be impressive. Never look back.
Apex Optics, supplier of prescription contact lenses in Freetown, is offering 30% discount on all contact lenses, white, tinted and cosmetic. Dress your eyes in
We dey give you the news, educational news, regional news, international